Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
This terrifying scene shocked the local strong men present on the spot. They had only heard of the artifact, but had never seen it. Now that I see it, I know how terrifying the power of the artifact is. However, there are also very radical local strongmen who are roaring. She will not let us go. Come together and kill her. Seize the artifact in her hand. While roaring, he went straight towards the holy light elemental elf Lilith and killed him. At the same time, more local strongmen came out. They are all people who are unwilling to bow their heads to the Lord of Holy Light and become believers of the Holy Light. This is because they have their own God of faith, ignorant and fearless. Holy Light elemental elf Lilith shook her head. Immediately, a cold light appeared on her beautiful cheeks, and she waved the bright holy sword in her hand to attack the local strong men. Conquer these heretics with war. High in the sky behind, the 12-winged seraph Mia also issued an order at this moment. If it's not soft, then it's hard. For today's Paradise Kingdom, it doesn't matter even if all the hundreds of thousands of local strong men present are killed. In the past, the Kingdom of Heaven still needed to recruit and surrender, and it needed strong people to join. It's no longer needed now. As for the power of faith that these local strong men can provide, it is nothing compared to the hundreds of millions of believers in Heaven Kingdom today. The most important is, they will soon go to the battlefield of all realms. Once they enter the battlefield of all realms, the collective arrival of their angel clan is not far away. By that time, their Lord of Holy Light will directly obtain the faith power of the 10,000 angels. In comparison, what do the beliefs of these native creatures count? They were persuaded to surrender before the war started, but they were just following standard war procedures. Since they are unwilling to surrender, they will not continue to waste time. As the 12-winged seraph Mia ordered, the hundreds of thousands of strong men from the heavenly country who gathered around them all started to kill the native creatures, using all kinds of combat skills, secret techniques, and magical techniques, like a tidal wave. In an instant, countless screams could be heard. That was the scream from the powerful native race. As soon as the two powerful armies came into contact, the local camp suffered heavy losses. Even if thousands of local strong men were killed instantly. Someone saw that the situation was not good and wanted to surrender, but the person died before the words could be spoken. Compared to the fallen angels, the methods of the holy angels are more gentle. But once a war breaks out, the holy angel will also turn into a killing machine without blinking an eye. Although the 20 million angels who came to this world were all newborn angels who had just been conceived in the angel reincarnation pool, they were summoned to the floating island world by Lin Yu. However, they were born with the fighting genes of the angel clan, as well as the inheritance of various combat skills and magical arts. They are born fighters. Not only does he have perfect combat experience, but he also kills enemies without mercy. Soon, the battlefield was covered with the corpses of a large number of local strong men. There are also strong men in the angel camp who have fallen. But before those local strong men could be happy, those who were killed by them immediately achieved perfect rebirth under the resurrection magic of the Angel of Love. This made the local strong men collectively dumbfounded and even more desperate. The enemy army is large and powerful. I managed to kill some of them, but they were resurrected by some angels using divine magic. How the hell do you fight this battlefront? The angel army is also unstoppable. The camp that killed the monster army in the wild continued to collapse. The corpses of countless wild monsters also fell on the battlefield. It has to be said that after this war is over, Lin Yu will definitely be able to harvest more than 10 billion units of animal meat at one time. Coupled with other resources and loot, it is appropriate to liquidate the warehouse. Under the influence of the angelic army, the kingdom's top military force, followed behind, and the battle became more and more fierce. They repelled the wild monster army time and time again. My hands were so cramped. I don't know how long it took. At the rear of the battlefield, suddenly a large number of kingdom professionals were shouting excitedly. Brothers, the front line of the wild monster army has collapsed. Further ahead is the local army from another world. Charge forward. I saw Xiaori and Xiabangzi's army camp. Kill them. Don't let them escape. Kill them. The time has come to honor our ancestors. Blow the horn of war and wash away their sins with the blood of their little days. Kill. Countless kingdom professionals were roaring. Each and every one of them looked like they had been injected with chicken blood. Many kingdom professionals were rushing forward desperately, and some were running so fast that they had even reached the front of the top-level military units, roaring and rushing towards the army camp of foreign professionals. Idiot. It's those Xia kingdom professionals. Why are there so many people here? Damn it. Even the incompetent native races can't stop us. Let's retreat quickly. Wait for me, Smecta. When they saw the army of monsters in the wild being destroyed and the legions of local races being defeated in one blow, the foreign professionals such as Xiaori, Xiabangzi, and others were immediately frightened. They knew that the war power of the angel army was very strong. But I didn't expect it to be so strong. In just a short time, the coalition forces they had assembled were killed until they collapsed. It's just horrible. Without daring to hesitate, all the foreign professionals made the same move at the same time, which was to withdraw the entire army. However, this is just wishful thinking on their part. Because the angels with authority had already taken action in advance and blocked their escape route with a barrier. Those strong locals couldn't escape, and they couldn't escape either. Little ones, don't even think about escaping. Your grandpa is here. Hearing a roar, a huge figure rushed over. It was a thin young man, but he was riding on the back of a wild boar king that was more than 20 meters long. Behind him were densely packed wild boar monsters, all wearing armor. The entire wild boar army rushed into the camp of the foreign professionals like a bulldozer. Many foreign professionals, such as Xiaori and Xiabangzi, were killed on the spot. The thin young man sitting on the back of the wild boar king is named Wei Sheng. Coincidentally, he is Lin Yu's classmate at Blue Star. Before coming to the floating island, his dream was to become a professional lord, then open a pig factory and become the boss of the pig factory. Now his dream has come true. Not only did he become a lord, but he also successfully raised a group of elite wild boar legions. Have to say, his luck is very good. Not long after he arrived on the floating island, while hunting monsters in the wild, he revealed a building drawing of a military unit called Spiked Pig. The Spiked Pig is one of the more powerful arms among the lower-level arms. The disadvantages are low IQ, weak fighting ability, and eating too much. The advantage is that it has low IQ and is easy to tame. After he used several army evolution drawings to cultivate an elite-level spiked-haired pig into a pig king and adopted it as a pet, the summoned spiked-haired pigs became even more obedient to his words. Basically, it means hitting wherever you want and being brave and not afraid of death. They are more obedient than his territory-specific soldiers. Now, he even gave up recruiting territory-specific troops and used all the gold coins he harvested to summon Spiked Pig. In a short period of time, he already had an army of tens of thousands of spiked pigs. The size of the pig herd far exceeds Xia Qingyue's Frost Dragon army. It is true that compared to the Frost Dragon army, his spiked pig army is garbage, and one breath of dragon breath can burn countless people to death. But on the battlefield of foreign professionals, this army of spiked pigs is awesome. I saw those fat and muscular pigs with spikes all over their bodies running rampant on the battlefield. With the powerful collision force and the shooting of countless spikes, countless foreign professionals such as Xiaori, Xiabangzi, and others were immediately hit and shot to death. That scene was quite wow. The kingdom professionals who came from behind were stunned. F***K. As expected of the famous Wei Zhu king, the awesome class. The pig king is mighty. Brothers, don't fall behind and charge with the pig king's army. The overwhelming number of kingdom combat professionals charged behind the army of spiked pigs. In the blink of an eye, the army of foreign professionals tore apart the camp and rushed in to kill indiscriminately. Whether it is the overall strength or the average level, these kingdom professionals under Lin Yu are higher than Xiaori, Xiabangzi, and other foreign professionals. After all the kingdom professionals who have the courage to teleport to the floating island in another world have a lot of meat. Those who had no confidence all stayed on the original floating island to develop silently. On the other hand, foreign professionals are mixed in quality. Among them, there are those with high levels and those with very low levels. In terms of equipment, they are far inferior to the kingdom professionals under Lin Yu. No matter which floating island world it is, the explosion rate of equipment is very low. On this floating island in another world, there is no abnormal lord professional like Lin Yu who sells millions of pieces of equipment a day. Lin Yu gained a large amount of gold coins by selling a large amount of equipment, but at the same time, he also improved the combat effectiveness of countless professionals on the island. The combat effectiveness has improved. They naturally kill monsters faster and level up more rapidly. Lin Yu is snowballing. With the help of Lin Yu, professionals are also rolling their own little snowballs. It can be said that both parties benefit. It is precisely because of these factors that the kingdom professionals under Lin Yu are stronger than those foreign professionals, such as Xiaori and Xiabangzi, on the battlefield. The combat effectiveness of both sides is the same as that of the regular army fighting the militia. The gap is not generally large. Not to mention, the morale of the two armies is not at the same level. The army of kingdom professionals is as powerful as a rainbow and unstoppable. The army of foreign professionals was completely defeated. They wished they had a few more legs so they could escape faster. Of course, the army of foreign professionals is no match for the army of kingdom professionals. Looking down from a high altitude, it can be clearly seen that the mountains and plains are full of foreign professionals who are trying to escape in a panic. The rear was pursued by a vast ocean of kingdom professionals. Every time they come into contact, scores of foreign professionals will fall on the battlefield. The kingdom professionals have gone crazy. Even if there were foreign professionals who couldn't escape and wanted to surrender, they didn't let them go. Because this is real war. Either you die or I die. Looking at it from another perspective, if the person who gains the upper hand is a foreign professional, they will also not show mercy. Before arriving, the foreign professionals collectively claimed that they would kill all Xia Kingdom professionals, thereby suppressing Xia Kingdom's extraordinary power in Blue Star and weakening Xia Kingdom's influence on surrounding countries and the entire world. There is nothing right or wrong in war, but only the victors can write history. Kill. The battle was also fierce at high altitude. There are densely packed flying units fighting. There are also lord professions in this floating island world. The flying units on both sides are attacking the other side's camp. Among them, the most eye-catching ones are the huge frost dragons. They are Xia Qingyue's dragon army, and their total number has reached more than 20,000. More than 20,000 frost dragons are enough to intimidate the entire audience. Under the leadership of the frost dragon army, the flying units of other races also became more and more courageous as they fought. The flying armies that killed the foreign professionals continued to retreat. Countless corpses fell to the battlefield like raindrops. This was supposed to be a fierce national war. At least that's what the kingdom professionals under Lin Yu think. Before the war started, they thought that foreign professionals such as Xiaori and Xiabangzi could fight them for 300 rounds. The two sides were evenly matched, and the fight was fierce. For this reason, many kingdom professionals are even mentally prepared to die on the battlefield. After the actual war started, they realized that they had overestimated the war strength of foreign professionals. Before the armies of both sides came into contact, the army camps of Xiaori, Xiabangzi, and other foreign professionals collapsed, and countless foreign professionals fled desperately. The fantasy scene of passionate national war did not appear. It's just one side running away and the other side chasing. The person running away is tired, and the person chasing behind is also tired. A slightly more intense battle might be a war between high-altitude flying arms. There are many lord professions from foreign countries sending their flying armies to intercept the armies of Xia Qingyue and others. Countless flying units started a large-scale fight at high altitude. However, the flying armies of foreign professionals still did not hold out for long. After only holding on for less than an hour, their arms and legions were killed until they collapsed. Countless flying arms fled in all directions, forcing the kingdom lords to send their arms and legions to hunt them down. Compared with chasing on the ground, chasing at high altitude is more tiring. Even for Xia Qingyue's Frost Dragon army, It is not an easy task to hunt down and encircle the enemy's flying armies. After all, there is too much room for escape. But it doesn't matter, because the entire battlefield has been blocked by the Quan Angel and the Lord Angel using the magic, war shackles. Whether in the sky or on the ground, the enemy cannot truly escape. They have become trapped beasts. Similar war scenes also appeared in other areas. Originally, the coalition forces on the floating island in another world surrounded the three areas where the angel army was located from all directions. As a result, the angel army is now dominated by guests. Not only did they defeat the large armies of local forces on all battlefields, but they also used various sealing magic to cut off all escape routes for the alien coalition forces. A larger counter-encirclement was formed. This is thanks to the teleportation magic of Gate of Holy Light. The Quan Angels and Lord Angels, who had the ability to seal off the battlefield, were teleported to the rear of the allied forces from another world, and a reverse interception came directly. Looking at the entire war zone, the total number of blocked coalition forces has reached more than 500 million. Among them, more than half of the enemies are wild monsters. The size of the native race's army is around 200 million. The number of foreign professionals, including Xiaori and Xiaobangzi, is the smallest, only about 13 million. The total number of exotic professionals in the world is approximately 17 million. The remaining 4 million foreign professionals were basically unable to successfully gather on the battlefield in the first time due to the long distances. At this moment, those foreign professionals only have one feeling left, and that is luck. Through the messages sent by the participants in the island chat channel, they already knew the situation of the war and the experiences of their compatriots. The first reaction was to be glad that my legs were short. Otherwise, they would now also be hunted down by professionals from the Xia Kingdom. Those Xia people are too strong. We are no match at all. They have an army of angels guarding the battlefield, and their morale is high. In addition to their high level, almost everyone has 2 or 3 pieces of equipment. It's normal that we can't defeat them. Idiot. The same group of professionals. How could they develop so fast? Someone must have cheated on that floating island. This person must be the ruler of the Kingdom of Heaven. It is said that his name is Lin Yu, and all the Xia Kingdom professionals on the battlefield, and even the angel army, are loyal to him. He is the mastermind of this invasion war. Hateful. We must not let him go. He must be responsible for this war. My energy bar has reached full value, and I can return to Blue Star at any time. After I go back, I will immediately contact the top leaders of our Sakura country to put pressure on Xia country, thus forcing Lin Yu to take the initiative to end this war. He is destroying the peace of the Blue Star world. This is not easy to handle. It is said that Lin Yu is about to become an immortal god. Whether he will listen to the senior officials of Xia Kingdom is a question. No matter what, the information about Lin Yu must be revealed. Let all the countries in the Blue Star know how crazy and cruel Lin Yu from the Xia Kingdom is, and then let other countries join forces to put pressure on the Xia Kingdom. Tell them that if they don't do this, Lin Yu will invade their floating island next. Whoosh. I agree with this plan. Just when professionals from all over the world were talking about it, a piece of news from the frontline battlefield caused an uproar in the chat channel. Because some professionals claimed that their team was attacked by other professional teams while escaping. The scariest thing is that they are not alone. On the way to escape, a large number of professionals were killing each other. Many professionals did not die in the hands of Xia people, but were killed by professionals from other countries, or even professionals from their own country. At this moment, the entire escape area was in chaos. Idiot. Are they all crazy? On the battlefield of the national war, they actually started fighting on their own. They are not crazy, they are afraid of death. I heard that the entire battlefield was blocked by Lin Yu's angels, and they couldn't escape at all. They killed each other in order to replenish the teleportation brand with energy and then escape back to Blue Star. As soon as this news came out, the entire chat channel fell into dead silence for an instant. Kill your own people just to survive? On the battlefield, the kingdom professionals under Lin Yu were also stunned. They chased them all the way and killed a large number of foreign professionals. A lot of achievements. But soon, They were stunned by the scene in front of them. In front of their pursuit, a large number of corpses of foreign professionals appeared. There are traces of frontal fighting. There were also fatal injuries from being attacked from behind. This made the kingdom professionals confused, thinking that there was a team that was faster than them and caught up with these foreign professionals in advance and then wiped them out. After chasing for some distance, they finally saw the truth. Those foreign professionals were not wiped out at all, but died by their own compatriots. They saw with their own eyes that foreign professionals were killing each other. The means are ruthless. These little days are so ruthless, you can even kill your own people. Otherwise, how can we call it a small day? The dirty things that are not recognized by our relatives should be wiped out. Hurry up and record it with a photo stone. Scenes like this are rare. When I return to Blue Star, I will post them all to the professional forum so that the rest of the world can see Xiaoli's face. That makes sense. The scene of foreign professionals killing each other is really not an exception. It happens on every regional battlefield. Those foreign professionals such as Xiao Ri and Xiao Bangzi knew that there was no hope of escape, so they set their sights on their companions. If a professional kills a professional, he can also get rewards of source energy and recharge the teleportation brand. If they want to escape from the battlefield, they can only use this method. Especially after such an incident was exposed in the island chat channel, the number of foreign professionals killing each other became even greater. They can't defeat the kingdom professionals under Lin Yu. But there is no problem at all in G your own people. In the eyes of some foreign professionals, it would be better for their companions to die in the hands of Xia professionals than to be killed by them, which would also give them a chance to survive. It is with this thought in mind. A big melee broke out immediately. Those foreign professionals who did not participate in this battle are also in danger. The enemy comes from within. They were afraid that if they were not careful, they would be attacked by one of their own people and wipe their necks. Suddenly, an even more desperate atmosphere spread in the hearts of countless foreign professionals. Whether it was the army of professionals from the Xia kingdom who were chasing after them, or their own people who had to be on guard at all times, they suffered the most cruel mental torture. Some foreign professionals who suffered a mental breakdown even chose to commit suicide on the spot. Of course, such people are only a minority after all. More foreign professionals are either on the way to escape or fighting fiercely with their own people. Until the army of kingdom professionals under Lin Yu caught up, they were still fighting on their own. In order to survive, they all fought hard. The war lasted until night. The army of hundreds of millions of monsters in the wild was the first to be wiped out by the army of angels and the army of the kingdom's soldiers. Then came the floating island's native race army. Die for death, surrender for surrender. Angels of the holy alignment are very benevolent indeed. Facing the surrendered native intelligent races, they will selectively use the magic of faith to purify their souls and make them believers of the Lord of Holy Light. As for the die-hard elements who are unwilling to surrender, the outcome will naturally be complete purification. The powerful legions of local forces were also wiped out. Most of the hundreds of thousands of local strong men fell on the battlefield and became the original energy for the angels to improve their levels. Only a lucky few survived and embraced the light. Finally, there are the foreign professionals. The angel army and the kingdom's army did not participate in the battle to eliminate foreign professionals, but handed this war over to the kingdom's professionals. Relatively speaking, kingdom professionals are still too weak. You need to grow up through war. Otherwise, if you go to the battlefield of all realms in the future, you will be dead. Those foreign professionals are suitable for training the kingdom professionals. The kind-hearted holy angels took very good care of their own people and sent many angels of love to join the battle with the army of kingdom professionals. The mission of the angel of love is to resurrect those kingdom professionals who unfortunately died in battle. And this move also made the kingdom professionals become more brave. After all, even the dead will be resurrected. They are still afraid of birds, looking down from a high altitude. With the third area as the center, there are bloody battlefields for hundreds of miles. More than 10 million kingdom professionals are scattered in this area, coupled with the mighty army of soldiers, chasing down foreign professionals such as Xiaori, Xiaobangzi, and so on. They didn't know how long they had been killing, nor how many foreign professionals they had killed. It wasn't until the next morning that the enemy seemed to be gone from sight. The war is over. It ends with the complete victory of the kingdom of heaven. A coalition of hundreds of millions composed of wild monsters from other worlds, local racial forces, and foreign professionals were all killed, and only a few successfully escaped. This is a war worthy of being recorded in the history of Blue Star. Because the number of foreign professionals who died on the battlefield is as high as more than 10 million. When the information about this war was brought back to Blue Star by the foreign professionals who luckily escaped, the entire Blue Star was shocked. The top leaders of the world collectively lost their voices. From the time Myriad World's floating island came to Blue Star to now, there has never been such a large-scale war. There have been wars between veteran professionals before, but compared to the death of more than 10 million professionals from various countries this time, it is simply not worth mentioning. At the same time, Lin Yu's name also spread throughout Blue Star. Like a big devil, it scares billions of humans on Blue Star. At this moment, Blue Star was in an uproar. Countries around the world are in turmoil. The top leaders of every country want to suppress this war incident to avoid major chaos and social order. But this is of no use at all. Because with the help of technological power, messages are transmitted too fast. Plus, it's not just a few people spreading the news. Instead, more than 100,000 people spread it together. Some of these more than 100,000 people have escaped from the battlefield, and some are professionals who have experienced the beginning and end of the war even though they have not participated in the war. They come from various countries, such as Sakura country and Bangzi country. Immediately after returning to Blue Star, they passed all the information about this war to professional forums and the internet. With more than 100,000 professionals speaking out together, who can suppress the incident? Totally impossible. What's more, the nearby countries, including Sakura country and Bangzi country, had no intention of suppressing the incident. Instead, they helped it spread internationally. The reason is simple. They are the direct victims of this war. Naturally, he wanted to seek justice, or to make Xiagua pay the price. Lin Yu, the ruler of the Kingdom of Heaven, is from the Xia Kingdom. Those who invaded their floating island and slaughtered their army of professionals were also professionals from Xia Kingdom. Of course, they wanted to settle the score with Xiagua, who was behind this. If this justice is not returned, the neighboring countries led by Xiaori and Xiabangzi will never give up. After all, Blue Star has now entered an extraordinary era. Every professional is a pillar of the country. Whether we can open up a new future in the extraordinary new era depends on professionals. But what's the result? They finally waited until the all-world's floating island summoned humans to become professionals on a large scale. They thought that people from their own country could shine on the floating island and become saints and gods. How long has it been? Less than a month. All the professionals in their country were killed. Of course, they did not really kill them all. They still had millions of professionals on the floating island, number 018439. Those professionals had to survive by chance because they did not participate in the war immediately. But that doesn't seem to make much sense. Because the goal of Paradise Kingdom is to capture their entire floating island world. As long as those professionals who were lucky enough to survive failed to fill up their energy in advance and escape back to Blue Star before encountering the army of the Kingdom of Heaven, they would end up dead. Therefore, they are not far from death. And this is one of the things that Xiaori, Xiabangzi, and other countries cannot accept. More than 10 million professionals have already died on the battlefield. If all the remaining millions of professionals die, and even the floating islands are captured, how can their country have an extraordinary future? They will be directly eliminated by the extraordinary new era. Its impact is that, not to mention whether it will destroy the country, it will at least reduce it to the bottom of the extraordinary era. From now on, we will have even less say in the international arena. In contrast, the Xia Kingdom, which is tens of millions of professionals and occupies 2 floating islands, will become more and more powerful. At that point, it will be even more difficult for them to turn around. Therefore, neighboring countries, including Sakura country and Bangzi country, are hyping up this war incident and putting pressure on Xia Kingdom in various fields. in an attempt to pass through the Xia kingdom, forced the Paradise Kingdom to take the initiative to end this war. He even thought that Xia state would take action to punish Lin Yu, the initiator of the war. At the same time, big countries in other continents can no longer sit still, especially beautiful country. Seeing Xia's professionals being lawless on the floating island, they simply couldn't bear it. He stood up immediately to lead Sakura country, Bangzi country, and other countries, putting greater pressure on Xia country. In fact, they don't care at all about the life and death of those foreign professionals such as Xiaoli and Bangzi. They don't want to see Xia's professionals continue to grow in power. On top of that, they're worried too. What if Lin Yu, the ruler of Paradise Kingdom, after conquering number 018439, floating island, led an army to capture their country's floating island? So what do? Judging from the war strength currently displayed by Paradise Kingdom, even their beautiful country has tens of millions of professionals, but they still cannot resist it. Therefore, we must boycott and impose sanctions. However, soon, the top management of beautiful country became confused. Because in addition to the Xia Kingdom professionals, there were tens of millions of angels who invaded 018439 floating island. Seraphim, Lord Angel, Cherubim, Throne Angel. Everything you need. When the news spread, the entire beautiful country was in chaos. Countless beautiful Chinese people were holding signs high and cheering. Why? Oh God! That's an angel. The divine creation in the hearts of all Western Christians. They even believe that it is God's will for the angel army to capture 018439 floating island. And Lin Yu, who can summon angels, is the incarnation of God. To fight against Lin Yu's army of angels is to fight against their God. Therefore, as soon as the top management of beautiful country stood up and wanted to boycott Paradise Kingdom, countless beautiful people with faith took the lead in quitting. Boycott is absolutely unacceptable. They don't allow it, because that is blaspheming their God. Similar chaos occurs not only in the beautiful country, but also in many countries in other continents. All over the world of Blue Star, there are already countless crazy Westerners who regard the Paradise Kingdom, established by Lin Yu, as the real paradise. They even believe it. As long as they join Lin Yu's Heaven Kingdom, they will be able to obtain eternal life. Because their God is there. There is a saying that is right. Thoughts create the era. Conversely, it can also be said that times can shape thoughts. Before the advent of the extraordinary era, the Western Christians on Blue Star were still very normal. And when the all-world's floating island arrived and brought extraordinary power to Blue Star, the Western believers gradually began to become radical and crazy because they believed that this was a miracle shown to them by God. They even believe that the person standing behind the floating island of the world is their God. Now, the kingdom of heaven appears. Tens of millions more divine creations and angels appeared on the floating island. They became more convinced and more crazy. No matter how the top officials of each country explain it, those angels are not mythical angels in the true sense, but are purely soldiers summoned by Lin Yu, a professional from the Xia Kingdom. The Westerners didn't want to believe it either. To them, it doesn't matter if he is a soldier or not, he is an angel. Since there are angels in the world, there must be God. And Xiagua professional Lin Yu is the incarnation of God, because the angels listen to him. This is a very direct relationship chain. Western believers will not be fooled by the top leaders of their own country. They only want to see the angel army descend on Blue Star so that they can take their believers to the sacred heavenly kingdom. It is precisely with the support of this idea. The beautiful country and hundreds of countries on all continents are in chaos. Countless Western Christians are cheering for the coming of God. The chaos they caused even spread to the whole world. As a result, many high-level officials from various countries who originally wanted to boycott the Xia Kingdom and the Paradise Kingdom had to stop their efforts because they were worried about the rebellion of the Western Christians in their own countries. Tell me a very scary number. That is, in the entire Blue Star, the number of Western Christians exceeds 2 billion. And at the same time, the Xia Kingdom, shrouded in the whirlpool of the storm, was completely silent. The senior executives were also confused. Everyone felt like they had been hit in the face with a pie. Because Lin Yu is one of their own. The stronger Lin Yu is, the greater Xiaoguo's influence will be on Blue Star, and the higher the rewards will be. As for putting pressure on Lin Yu to withdraw the army that invaded 018439 Floating Island, as well as the more than 10 million Xia Kingdom professionals. Do not make jokes. When something like this happened, it was too late for them to be happy. The number of floating islands is inherently limited, which means that the resources are not infinite. The Kingdom of Paradise can capture 018439 Floating Island, which has only advantages and no disadvantages for Xia Kingdom. When those tens of millions of professionals return, their Xia Kingdom's extraordinary power in Blue Star will immediately stand at the top of the world. This is also the dream of countless Xia Kingdom people. There is another problem. Lin Yu can lead more than 10 million Xia Kingdom professionals to attack 018439 Floating Island. This shows what? This shows that he has almost ruled number 014965 Floating Island, became the master of the island, and gained the loyalty of tens of millions of Xia Kingdom professionals. Regardless of why Lin Yu was able to do such earth-shattering things in such a short period of time, it's a foregone conclusion that he will become the owner of the island. If nothing unexpected happens, the tens of millions of Xia Kingdom professionals on the island will become subjects of the Paradise Kingdom. In addition, Lin Yu also has a terrifyingly large army of angels and an army of top-notch soldiers under his command. What a terrifying power this is. The current Paradise Kingdom cannot be restricted by any country on Blue Star. Once something goes wrong, maybe even Blue Star will be invaded by Paradise Kingdom. Therefore, Xiaoguo's senior management never considered putting pressure on Lin Yu from the beginning. Win-win cooperation is the right way. Going forward, if Lin Yu can become an immortal god, then Xia Kingdom can basically knock some of the Blue Star kingdoms to the ground and violently hammer them. As soon as possible after receiving the message, the first thing Xiaoguo did was to investigate Lin Yu's true identity. They must find out which city and place Lin Yu is from. What is the specific identity information before going to the floating island? Only after mastering clear information can Xiaoguo better prepare for future close contact with Lin Yu and the Paradise Kingdom. There is another problem that Xiaoguo's senior officials still can't figure out. That's why none of the tens of millions of professionals in their Xia Kingdom has returned to Blue Star. Before this war begins, professionals from various countries around the world have returned one after another and reported information about the floating islands where they are located. Only none of their Xia Kingdom professionals came back. Originally, they were still speculating whether there was something wrong with floating island number 014965, and they were very worried. Now that I know the current situation of Xia Kingdom's professionals, they were relieved at first, and then their doubts deepened. But no matter what, things are always moving in a good direction. That's enough. When another senior member of the Xia Kingdom learned that the army of foreign professionals such as Xiaori and Xiabangzi were defeated on the battlefield, they secretly said, "Good boy. Well done, Lin Yu." In a bright office, a figure with a slim figure and a beautiful face was looking at the computer screen in front of her with a dull expression. What was displayed on the screen was the Blue Star Professional Forum. As the war incident broke out, professional forums also became a buzz. Lin Yu, Heaven Kingdom, Army of Angels, more than 10 million foreign professionals were slaughtered, and other keywords were discussed wildly by professionals. And she is none other than Su Yi, the class teacher of Class 7 of ManhwaRecap Academy and University. When I saw the name Lin Yu, Director Subin couldn't hold himself any longer for a moment. A pair of eyes widened. Because among her students, there is also one named Lin Yu. The key is, Lin Yu is also one of the students from Class 7 of the university who was summoned to Floating Island of All Realms to become a professional. It can't be such a coincidence, right? Director Subin took a deep breath. The outline of the chest is very exaggerated. Although she was very nervous, she did not immediately identify the ruler of the Heaven Kingdom as her student Lin Yu. After all, tens of millions of Xia people were summoned to the floating island this time. It is not impossible to have the same name. She continues to collect breaking information about Lin Yu on professional forums. but the results were unsatisfactory. Because the relevant information was basically revealed by foreign professionals such as Xiaori and Xiabangzi who escaped from the floating island. They knew very little about Lin Yu and the Kingdom of Heaven. No one has really seen what Lin Yu looks like. Because Lin Yu did not appear in 018439 Floating Island. This war was led from the beginning to the end by the Angel Army under Lin Yu, with the cooperation of the Xia Kingdom's professional army. Lin Yu did not take command at all. Wandered around the forum a few times. Su Yi didn't find what she wanted either. On the contrary, she fully realized how awesome the war power of Paradise Kingdom was. What kind of 12-winged seraph can instantly kill millions of wild monsters with one move? A round of artillery bombardment killed millions of enemy soldiers in the City of Angels. An overwhelming battle that killed hundreds of thousands of local strong men. A war that killed hundreds of millions of coalition troops. Etc., etc. Picture after picture appeared in Amelia Sue's mind. Just reading the text, her blood boiled with excitement. This is the real extraordinary war. The wars she participated in the past were just small fights in comparison and could not be brought to the forefront. It's only been less than a month. Su Yi's expression was shocked. Although it was impossible to determine whether Lin Yu was her student, this did not prevent her from being shocked by Lin Yu's growth rate. As one of the first batch of veteran professionals to enter Myriad World's floating island, she has been developing for a whole year, and her current level is only at the late king level. In fact, she had already reached this level a few months ago. I have been stuck in place, unable to break through. This is because her squad was destroyed in a battle. She was the only one left alive. With the team gone, she would naturally not be able to kill extraordinary level enemies with her own strength. If a combat professional wants to break through the king level and advance to the extraordinary level, he needs to kill 3 extraordinary enemies. How can she, an elementalist with extremely weak self-preservation ability, kill enemies beyond the level? The gap between extraordinary and king-level people can reach more than 10 times. Seeing that there was no hope of a breakthrough, she could only return to Blue Star from time to time, working as a class tutor at the Magic Martial Arts Academy while looking for other help. Now that she sees Lin Yu growing up so fast, she is naturally shocked and envious. She had reason to be suspicious. Lin Yu is now a demigod. After all, there are so many powerful demigods under his command. Not only angels, but also mountain giants, nature elves. These are all native races of the floating island conquered by the Paradise Kingdom, and there are a huge number of demigods. The people under my command are so strong. As the ruler of the Kingdom of Heaven, Lin Yu's level cannot be any lower. If she hadn't known that the floating island was an incomplete world that could not bear the emergence of a true god, she would have suspected that Lin Yu had become a true god. Otherwise, how could she open up a battlefield in another world? Just when Su Yi was thinking wildly, several figures wearing armor walked into the office. The leader was a middle-aged man, whose aura reached an extraordinary level. He said to Su Yi with a smile on his face, "Teacher Su, we would like to know some information about a student named Lin Yu in your 7th class. Is it inconvenient for you?" See these figures. Su Yi's expression suddenly became solemn. She knew that this was the country's special department. The speed is really fast. Su Yi secretly said something, and then nodded. An hour later, seeing that the middle-aged man had no other questions, Su Yi took the initiative and asked, "Captain Chun, are you sure that Lin Yu is a student of our college?" Hearing this, the middle-aged man named Chun shook his head. While putting away the collected information, he said, "It's not certain yet. I can only say that there is a probability. This is pure bullshit." Su Yi secretly rolled her eyes. At this time, Captain Chun smiled and said to Su Yi, "Although I don't know the reason why our professionals are temporarily unable to return to Blue Star, I believe that with the strength of Paradise Kingdom, this problem will be solved soon. Who Lin Yu is, we will find out soon." Hearing this, Su Yi also nodded. All they can do now is wait. And not just them, the whole world is waiting. Holy City. Lin Yu, who was on the floating island, didn't know about the turmoil that occurred on Blue Star. Little did he know that billions of humans around the world were shocked by his power. Of course, He didn't know that there were more than 2 billion Western Christians on Blue Star worshiping him crazily and praying that he could quickly bring his army of angels and gods to Blue Star. Oh my God, this is what Western Christians often say. Now God really shows up. How could they not be excited? At this moment, Lin Yu was checking the war information reported by the 12-winged Seraph Mia, one of the commanders of the angel army. After the war, on number 018439 floating island ended, 12-winged Seraph Mia immediately reported the battle situation to him. The battle situation information also includes the fact that more than 10 million foreign professionals, such as Shaori, Xiabangzi, and others, were wiped out. In this national war, the professionals of the kingdom won completely. Although according to post-war statistics, there were approximately 3 million casualties among the kingdom's professionals in this war, they were basically resurrected by the angels of love who accompanied the army. Angels of love are special angels. The lowest ones are 6 wings. The strength is much stronger than that of kingdom professionals. Resurrecting them can be said to be a piece of cake. With the angel of love around, as long as the souls of the kingdom professionals are not destroyed, it can be said that it would be difficult for them to die. In this national war, among the foreign professionals such as Shaori and Xiabangzi they encountered, naturally no one had the ability to destroy souls. So, this can be said to be a perfect victory. But overall, the strength of professionals is still a bit weak. Lin Yu's army of angels and top-level troops swept away hundreds of millions of wild monsters and native races, without losing 3 million in total. Totally crushing. In comparison, the strength of kingdom professionals is too weak. It doesn't matter now, the angel of love is here and can easily revive them. When it comes to the 10,000 realms battlefield, that won't necessarily be the case. Because the battlefield of all realms is a world where true gods are flying everywhere and demigods are as numerous as dogs. In such a world, it can be said to be easy to destroy the souls of living beings. It's like a true god. Even if you don't have the magic to master the soul level, you only need to use divine power or the laws of the true God to easily destroy and annihilate the souls of the kingdom professionals. The angel of love's resurrection magic can only be successfully performed on the basis that the soul has not disappeared. Once the soul is destroyed, the resurrection spell has no effect. If such a creature wants to be resurrected, it must either reverse time and space, or use great power to forcibly shake the river of destiny and resurrect it with the help of the true spirit that the creature entrusts in the river of destiny. Both of these are ways that the angel of love cannot do. Therefore, if kingdom professionals want to survive in the battlefield of all realms, they cannot always rely on the magic of the angel of love, and their own strength must also be improved. Only if you are strong yourself, that is fundamental. Didn't think twice about it. Lin Yu immediately gave the order to the 12-winged Seraph Mia to continue fighting. Victory in this world war is just the beginning. The final combat goal is to occupy the entire 018439 floating island. However, with the main force of the alliance from another world destroyed, the remaining things became much easier to handle. With the war strength of the angel army and the kingdom's top military force, they can easily sweep across the entire floating island in another world. I believe it won't take long. Other areas of the floating island in the different world will be completely captured. By that time, the power of the rules of the other world will also be weakened to the limit, making it easy to control. Now is a new day. After processing yesterday's loot, the total number of gold coins Lin Yu received once again broke through to a new record. This time, he summoned a total of about 15 million angels. Of these, 5 million are fallen angels. There are also a lot of hell trolls. In addition, the more than 100 top-level military buildings built in the Holy City also helped Lin Yu obtain more than 1 million top-level military units in vain. Dragons, nature elves, dark elves, nagas, mountain giants, golden behemoths, etc. There is a wide variety and everything you need. As usual, Lin Yu dispatched the newly summoned 5 million fallen angels to clean up the remaining areas of the current floating island. As for the army of 10 million holy angels, they were once again dispatched to the floating island in another world. With the help of this angel army, the speed of conquering the floating island in another world will be doubled. At most, tomorrow, this floating island, number 018439, will be captured by Lin Yu, and then merge with the floating island he is on. What Lin Yu is looking forward to now is the rules of the floating island world after the integration can carry the power of the true God. In this way, his secretary and Commander Victoria, as well as those angels and kingdom strongmen who have reached the peak level of demigods, can all become gods on the spot. Becoming an immortal god is also Lin Yu's dream. The time comes in the afternoon. Lin Yu was exchanging the secrets of the origin of the law with Angelia in the city lord's mansion. During this period, he also summoned the 10-winged angel Elena, the saint of light Tiffany, and others to study together. Until now, the number of origins of laws mastered by Lin Yu has exceeded 150. This is due to the selfless dedication of Secretary Lin and several women, plus the help of law stones. In terms of level, Lin Yu is still in the late stage of demigods, but his true strength has far exceeded that of peak demigods and has even reached the level of true gods. Even without using the origin scepter and holy glory divine armor, his strength is also comparable to that of the true God. This is the greatest benefit of mastering the origins of laws with multiple different attributes. You can continuously enhance your own strength. Lin Yu can now ignite the divine fire at any time, ascend to the peak demigod state, and once again double his power. With the protection of the power of creation, he will not fail in the process of lighting the divine fire. However, Lin Yu did not immediately light the fire. According to his estimation, if he ignites the divine fire now and breaks through to the level of a god in the future, he will at most be a mid-level god with medium divine power. This is not what Lin Yu wants. Lin Yu's goal is to be promoted to a true god and master powerful divine power in one fell swoop. It would be even better if he could be promoted to the main god in one step. Of course, it is very difficult to become the main god. Throughout the universe, no one has ever done it. If Lin Yu can succeed, it will be unprecedented. The dragon clan of 36 islands in the bay has restored order. Princess Silver Dragon, who was canonized as the new dragon emperor by Lin Yu, immediately came to the holy city with the help of the teleportation array and became Lin Yu's personal maid, serving Lin Yu with the Saint of Light, Tiffany. The affairs of the giant dragon clan have been temporarily handed over to her father, the chief of the Silver Dragon clan, to manage them on their behalf. The leader of the Silver Dragon clan was defeated and was forced to surrender after suffering heavy losses. But after the injury healed, he accepted his current identity calmly. Just like the nature elf Queen Grassit said, it is his honor to serve the angel family and the great lord of holy light. His future is brighter than before. Knowing that the fallen angel army was clearing out the remaining islands, the Silver Dragon clan leader took the initiative to lead an army of giant dragons to helping Paradise Kingdom become the ruler of the 36 islands in the bay more quickly. Let's talk about the far east side. With the cooperation of the Natural Elf Empire, the Holy Angel Army, and the Illuminati Army successfully wiped out and took over this area. Currently, several large armies have begun to march towards other regions. Say one more thing. When clearing 36 islands in the Gulf and Far East, the Angel Army unexpectedly discovered 2 gold mines and occupied them simultaneously. These 2 gold mines are both medium-sized gold mines, like the one in the underground world. The total number of gold coins contained is 10 billion. When the number of miners is full, 100 million gold coins can be collected each day. In other words, Lin Yu can earn 300 million gold coins every day without doing anything now. It's no wonder that those veteran professionals admire gold mine so highly. For Lord Professionals, as long as you can occupy a gold mine, you can basically soar into the sky. For Lin Yu, the daily output of the 3 gold mines can also help him summon more than 100 large-scale angel legions every day. This shows how valuable the gold mine is. When the time comes to evening, just when the exchange between Lin Yu and Secretarian ended, a message from Wanjia Floating Island suddenly appeared in Lin Yu's mind. Congratulations, Lord Lin Yu. The troops under your command have successfully occupied the 36 islands in the bay and the Far East. You have successfully completed the main mission of being promoted from a lord professional to the lord of an island. You are qualified to become the island owner. I would like to ask Lord Lin Yu, are you willing to take over as the owner of the floating island number 014965? Whether. Lin Yu immediately became energetic after receiving this message. He has been waiting for this moment for a long time. Oh, it doesn't seem like it lasts long. It has only been 20 days since he arrived on this floating island. Less than a month. He has already obtained the qualification to become the island owner. This was absolutely unbelievable to those veteran professionals a year ago. At the same time, he has accomplished something that all professionals have failed to do. He has opened a new milestone for professionals in Myriad World's floating island. This is something to be happy about. Without hesitation, Lin Yu immediately chose yes. At this moment, a bright golden light shot out from the void, shrouding Lin Yu in it. The next second, Lin Yu's figure disappeared from the bed. Saw this scene. Angelia, who was sleeping next to her, looked stunned. Then he seemed to understand something. She waved her right hand, and the void in front of her eyes suddenly collapsed. She walked in, and her elegant and beautiful figure disappeared. A blink of an eye. Lin Yu found himself in a white world. The surrounding space stretches as far as the eye can see. There is no obstruction, just a glimpse of white. There are no elements of heaven and earth here, but there is extremely rich source energy. If you can practice here, it will definitely get twice the result with half the effort. The speed of promotion is no less than that of large-scale hunting of wild monsters. What is this place? Suddenly coming to such a strange place, Lin Yu felt no fear in his heart. He has the protection of the godly armor of holy glory and possesses the super artifact, Super Source Scepter. Even the mid-level true god cannot do anything to him. He just felt a little confused. At this time, a figure suddenly appeared next to Lin Yu. When she saw that beautiful face, Lin Yu felt even more determined. With Secretarian here, he felt even more at ease. As expected of Secretarian, he understood the essence of this space at a glance and said to Lin Yu, "My lord, this is the core of the world and the hiding place of the spirit of rules." She just finished speaking. Another object appeared out of thin air. It was a huge golden eye, emitting colorful light. There are also 5 colored threads wrapped around the pupils. Lin Yu is no longer the newbie who didn't understand anything. He quickly recognized that those threads were the secrets of the law, and the colorful light emitted was the origin of the law. It's obvious. This golden eye is the spirit of rules in the floating island world. The rules of the world are invisible things. It transformed itself into an eye and appeared in front of Lin Yu. In all walks of life in the universe, there are such expressions as the eye of rules, the eye of heaven's punishment, and so on. The shape of its eyes means that it can monitor everything in the world. Dear Lord Lin Yu. At this time, a voice came from the golden eyes, saying to Lin Yu, "I am the world rule of the floating island number 014965. You only need to connect with me with your mind, and you can become the master of the island. By then, everything that happens on the island will be under your control." After saying that, his golden eyes glanced at Secretarian, who was standing next to Lin Yu. It expressed dissatisfaction with Angelia's forcible intrusion. After all, this is its territory. If it were anyone else, it would have been thunderous and furious. But when he thought about Angelia's identity and her sinister character, it instantly lost its temper. I can only endure it. The most important thing is that Angelia is smarter and more knowledgeable than Lin Yu. It is very likely to disrupt its normal operation. Here, Lin Yu was just about to do it. But suddenly, he noticed Secretary and soft little hand reaching over and holding his hands. Then, Secretarian looked up at the golden eyes and said rudely, "Who are you? And who is my lord? What qualifications do you have to allow my lord's thoughts to connect with you? You are so courageous. You actually dare to try to be on an equal footing with my lord. If you are wise, please obediently hand over your core intelligence." The golden eyes fell silent. Sure enough, it knew this would happen. After a moment, it said helplessly, "Ms. Angelia, these are the rules set by the boss. I am just a part-time worker, and I follow the procedures completely. Hear this." Lin Yu looked at Secretarian with some confusion. What's going on? Angelia explained. Report to my lord. The connection of thoughts is only equivalent to you sharing this floating island with this guy. Under certain circumstances, it can even betray you. For example, it got an order from the rules of the world of battlefield of all realms. It's different if you master its core intelligence. Its life and death are controlled by you. If you are dissatisfied with it, you can erase its spirituality at any time and cultivate a new world rule. At the same time, in this way, the world rules of the 10,000 realms battlefield can no longer control the world. So it is. Lin Yu understood immediately. One is a partnership between two people to open a company. One is to be your own boss. Of course, the latter has more power. Dear Lord Lin Yu, Golden Eyes said quickly, you don't have to worry at all. I will never betray you. The island owner can control everything in the world of the floating island. As the rule of the world, I will also obey orders. This is also the rule set by our boss. However, Lin Yu did not listen to it. This guy still listens to his boss. Just like Secretarian said, only by grasping its core intelligence can we cut off its affiliation with the rules of the battlefield of the world, thereby avoiding future accidents. In fact, the spirit of world rules does not dare to betray Lin Yu. After all, what kind of identity is it? What kind of identity is Lin Yu? Even if you give it 100 courages, it won't dare. Angelia also knows this very well. The reason why she wants the spirit of world rules to hand over the core intelligence is purely because, in her opinion, no one can be equal to the Lord of Holy Light of their angelic family. Facing the great Lord of Holy Light, the Supreme God King had to lower his head, not to mention the spirit of rules in a broken world. If it weren't for the fact that the Lord of Holy Light was here, she would have slapped this eye to make it understand the inviolability of the majesty of the Lord of Holy Light. Here, Lin Yu said, I think it's better for you to hand over your core intelligence. Now I'm your boss. This? Golden Eyes was still hesitant. After handing over the core intelligence, how can it explain to the big boss? At this moment, it suddenly noticed an unkind gaze directed at it. There is a very clear threat and warning in it. Then, it got scared. He happily handed over his core spiritual intelligence. It was a bright golden ball of light that was taken into Lin Yu's body. Since then, he has become the veritable owner and controller of this floating island. At the same time, the world announcement that Lin Yu became the master of an island also appeared on the island chat channel, instantly shocking all professionals on the island. The native creatures also received reminders from the Supreme God. Suddenly, the whole island was shaken.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.